Yay. A little Cesaria Evora to begin this lovely, wonderful Wednesday afternoon. You are listening to KZSC Santa Cruz. I am your host for this week's Artist on Art. I have such pleasure to introduce my guest today. We have an amazing tradition here in Santa Cruz over at the 418 Club, or the 418 Project. That is over on 418 Front Street. It's a dance center, art sponsor, amazing organization, and we have many of those here in town, and we are blessed. But today we're going to be talking about a special event that happens, gosh, how many years has it been since 1990? When?
It's the 8th year running.
8th year. Okay. Not in the 90s. It's in the new millennium. 8th year of an event called What is Erotic? And this collaborative group event happens around Valentine's Day, which is very appropriate, in my opinion, for Valentine's Day, where we get to explore what is erotic. This is Santa Cruz's the hottest Valentine's date event that you could possibly do. And it begins February 7th, 8th, and 9th, and the second weekend, 14th, 15th, and 16th of 2014. I have the great pleasure of speaking with two of the directors. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And Michelle, you are...
A performer.
A performer. Mm-hmm. And so we'll start with Michelle
Milendez.
Michelle Milendez. Michelle, you are performing in this event. Maybe how many performances are there? What are you one of?
There's about 20 or so, I think, different performances,
and so this
original performances.
Stephano Engle has also joined us here in the studio, who co-directed last year, I believe.
Yes, that's true.
And Angela Blessing, who has been a part of What is Erotic since the beginning, right? Have you been in?
I was in the first show, but really Stephano has been in almost every show except for the first year.
Oh,
right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And performing in it. And then we've both been directing and producing the last 3 years.
So what is erotic? It's an extravaganza. There's two parts of it. You have the pre-show erotic salon.
Yeah.
And that begins at 8:30 on all of the mentioned dates. That's February 7th, 8th, 9th, 14th, 15th, 16th.
Actually, it starts at 7:30.
The salon starts at 7:30, and then the curtain...
That is 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock.
On Friday and Saturday, and it's 1 hour earlier on Sunday. So we have our the doors opening 6:30 for the erotic salon, and
7.
show starting at 7.
Yeah, that's on Sunday only.
And that's Sunday, February 9th and February 16th. And you can buy the tickets at brownpapertickets.com or at the door. But listen, folks, it sells out.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
Especially, I think, the second weekend.
Totally.
I know it did last year. And so if you want to go to What is Erotic this year, visit whatiserotic.com and secure your ability to be there by buying your tickets now.
And it also is the 418's biggest fundraiser of the year, so purchasing tickets at any of the different ticket levels is a wonderful way to support this incredible arts incubator in Santa Cruz.
So, Stephano, you mentioned that these are all original performances.
Yes, correct.
Tell us about the process, because it's a lengthy one, when you say.
It is, actually. Yeah, around October or so, we put out a call for artists, and people show up, and they start talking about ideas. And sometimes they're way out there ideas, sometimes different sorts of ideas, and they try their stuff out. And it's really a process. We work together with them over the course of the months. And
so we're talking about October, November, December, January. You start doing the final run-throughs, kind of, the
Yeah, typically auditions are, November?
Yeah, November, December, early December or so.
But the beginning of the process, you have a call-out in October, at the beginning of October.
Right.
That's right.
Where you meet, and if you have the idea, you need to be at that first meeting.
That's right. And a lot of things happen there. People might say, hey, I need a few dancers. Hey, I need somebody to do this. You know, someone's going to swing from the ceiling on a rope or something. We really kind of negotiate at that point about what ideas people have, and they kind of exchange with the other performers ideas that they might be developing.
And there's some people that come to your call out that don't really have an idea but want to help perform or support other people that have more defined ideas.
Yes, that's very true. And some people, oftentimes it's people who have never performed before. Sometimes people haven't even seen the show, and they're just attracted to the idea of the show, which was what I was the first time, in fact. I had never seen the show myself. So Stephano
Engles, tell us, what is that drives this yearly tradition, this What is Erotic?
You know, I really believe it's the magic of theater. There's something sort of primal and tribal about getting up in front of a bunch of people in an empty room, really, and an empty. You know, when you step around that flat and you walk out on this empty floor, when there's a bunch of people there watching, there's so much magic. You start performing, and the immediacy of theater is incredible. You do things. You can hear the audience react. You can hear them draw their breath in. You can hear them go or murmur or laugh, or they react to you right then and there. It's just such an incredible feeling.
And then that feeds the actors and the performers, and then the performers are feeding the audience, and it's this closed loop that is changing and evolving and is magic.
It is. You know, I think one of the things about eroticism, or one of the things about performing, is that if you were asked to perform like a bad banker or a mean policeman or something like that, we all have cultural references for those things, but eroticism is not something we typically dialogue about. So when you're performing something erotic, you're kind of putting it out there. You don't have some references. And so you do your performance, and at the end of it, as a performer, you're very vulnerable. You don't know what those people are going to do about what you just did. And it's so wonderful to be received. For the audience just reacts fantastically. It's a beautiful feeling. So,
when you're talking about this closed loop, with general theatrical events and performance, there's obviously it's a closed system.
Yes.
So the audience is reacting to what the performances are, what is being expressed, what is being said, and then the performers are being affected by how the audience is reacting to what is being expressed and said. And so it's a very unique experience to witness what is erotic, to be a participant as an audience or a performer in what is erotic, because that closed system is actually investing or investigating a part of our lives that we don't normally do outside of our intimate bedrooms or our lives, our intimate lives. And so to be having that kind of element into this theatrical experience closed system gives a whole other dimension to how the audience participates, let's say.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So how has What is Erotic expressed this through, let's say, the design of how people sit, the stage, the costumes?
Yeah, I think it's a very intimate performance venue. We've actually, in the front rows, people are sitting on pillows and futons and things, reclining on the floor, just relaxing, almost like they're in their living room
or their boudoir.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the audience is always really supportive. You know, many times it's all people from the community. So some of them are seasoned performers. Some of them it's their first time ever doing anything like this, and some even seasoned performers first time ever doing something, sexy and edgy or what have you. So there's so much love and support and, like right on from the audience, and you just feel energetically, and that feels really good. It's a very easy, mushy crowd. This is nice.
Right. They're not hard critics, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, was that a double entendre? Anyways.
Ding.
Ding. This is during the family hour of radio. We can't go too much in that direction, but we can talk more about what is erotic. One of the things I was alluding to is that you have a salon before the performances. Tell us what goes on in the salon.
Well, one of the great things about it is we interact with the audience. We play with them. You
play with them? How do you play with them?
Well, each year is different.
Last year I was a cat. I was a white cat, so I was attacking people's feet and going in between people and purring, and people were coming up and asking to pull my tail, and it was just really fun.
This is Michelle Milendez.
Melendez, yeah.
Melendez. So, Michelle, you were a performer in last year's.
Yeah, that was my first show.
That was your first show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that begs the question: what inspired you? What activated you to first put yourself out there and audition for What is Erotic, and then?
Yeah, the year before, I saw a girlfriend of mine and in the show, and she was talking about her sexual experience with a guy in a wheelchair, and she was just really just laying it all out there, and I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe she's doing this in front of everybody. How amazing. And I thought, wow, if I did something like this would so push me. It would totally get me out of my comfort zone. And I was like, I have to do this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so then last year I did a piece that was around a businesswoman who's lost her heart and she's lost her femininity. And she comes out and she's just this hard nose, you have to do this and do this. And I come out as the goddess and I basically unveil her beauty and her heart. And it was just a piece of both of us just coming together and opening up a woman's heart again and reminding her that you are a beautiful, attractive woman and sensuality is a part of who you are. And that was my piece, and it really touched a lot of people, and I was really excited to bring it to out of myself and into the community and just expand. Totally pushed me past my limit because I was wearing a very skimpy outfit that I don't usually wear in public, and this year is even more skimpy to wear in public. So I'm just, What is Erotic is really, it has allowed me to be more bold in my life, to feel attractive, to be okay with feeling beautiful and sexy. And if you're a woman that calls to you and you're longing for that, you've got to come check out the show.
Oh, Michelle Milendez, you mentioned that you were a white cat last year during the salon.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little more description of what somebody might experience as an audience participant coming to the half hour before curtain call?
Yeah, you're going to have a really good time. Us performers are just coming around and playing with you and trying to lighten the mood, because when I first came to What is Erotic the year before, I was really nervous. I was like, what's going to happen? And, and there's going to be a bunch of people, and we're all going to watch, what are we going to watch? Because What is Erotic? It's like, but it's not what is porn. And so it was actually done so well. And when in the salon, we're just playing with you. We're just like wanting to get you comfortable, wanting you to laugh a little bit, wanting you to kind of get curious about what's going on and the anticipation of what's to come, and it's a really fun time. It's you don't want to miss the salon.
So, Stephano, how many people in the production, how many of the performers actually come out before the salon? Is that something you rehearse, or?
Yes, it's not rehearsed. It's actually kind of a very open time when people are improvising. Sometimes this year we'll have probably 7 or 8 or so in the audience. And the performers are very careful. We really do seek permission before we do things. But like for instance, I'm
what?
Yeah, I've usually right.
Sit in your lap, or
well, it depends. I do sometimes. I do a thing called the sensuous sommelier, and what I do is I'm a sommelier and I propose sensuous things that people might do with each other. And so I have a couple, and I might say, she would really love it if you kissed her in the ear right here, right now.
Ah.
And they do that, and then I might say, he would really love it if you nibbled along the back of his neck right here. And so it's huge fun for me, because I walk away and there's this couple now kissing and making out and so happy together. It's really fun. So
that's another aspect, is that if you come with your fun,
your sweetie,
then there won't be anybody giving you dirty looks if you end up making out in the corners, being affected by the performances.
Right. Well, we hope you are affected by the performances. And I sometimes get feedback days later. I'll be walking around town, or I'll be checking out at the grocery store, and someone will go, "That was a nice striptease," or something like that. It always surprises me. But also,
it's a small community.
That's right. We're not invisible here.
It's hey, that's that guy.
That's right. Well, that but also people sometimes tell me, hey, we loved your performance and it really gave us a hot night. And when we got home.
That's right, folks. And that's why this is the hottest Santa Cruz Valentine's date that you could possibly ever imagine. I want to just give you the dates one more time. The 418 Project. This is their biggest benefit of the year. It's in downtown Santa Cruz at 418 Front Street. And the first show is Friday, February 7th, 8th, and then Sunday, February 9th, the time changes. So February 7th and 8th, and then the show begins with the pre-show erotic salon at 7:30 p.m., and then the curtains are at 8 p.m., and then for the February 9th, which is a Sunday, the show begins, the salon begins at 6:30, and then the curtain is at 7. And then we have the following weekend, which is February 14th, Friday, a wonderful day for Valentine's Day. And then you have the 15th, again starting at 7:30, and then curtain at 8, and then Sunday, February 16th, beginning at 6:30 and curtain at 7. Of course, you can go to whatiserotic.com and get all of your information and be able to buy your tickets because, like I said, folks, pretty much every time I've been aware of What is Erotic and been able to promote y'all coming on to What Artist on Art, it's sold out. So
right. That's true.
And it's a sad thing when you don't get to
yeah.
go to something you really want to.
Yeah, you get turned away. Aw. And we've really bad to turn people away too. So.
Yeah, of course. So, What is Erotic was begun by Misha Bonaventure. Is that correct?
Actually, it goes back quite a ways to a person named Brendan Ramsden, who started a show called Erotica, something like that. He had the idea, and then it kind
Here
of evolved.
Here in Santa Cruz?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
At the 418.
At the 418.
And this was more than 9 years ago, or is this?
It was about 9 years ago or so.
This is the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you were there involved, Stephano Engle, is that correct?
I was involved in the second year, yeah, so I still worked with Brendan at that time.
I was in the first year, in the first show.
Yeah.
So Angela Blessing performed in the first year. Do you mind telling us what was your first performance?
Well, I had a very minor role. We were, me and Holly were in the...
Holly?
Yeah.
Hallelujah Blessing?
That's right. We were in the Living Tapestry, which was at that time kind of like the pre-show salon, kind of being like slow-moving statues, and then in the grand finale we were like the king and queen with the kind of like there was like a cosmic wedding kind of finale thing that we were in. So it wasn't like we didn't have to do very much preparation for that, fortunately. It was an easy stand-in. And so, it was so a lot of fun, though.
And so Brandon is no longer in town, or?
He's no longer associated with the show.
Oh, okay. And then did Misha take it over from?
Oh, well, I think Laura Bishop's been kind of the person who's followed it through all these years. Yeah,
she's in the first show, and she's been every year, really.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up Laura Bishop, because she is the third co-director.
Yes,
of
that's right.
What is Erotic this year. Is she performing as well?
She is. Yeah.
And she is also the director of the 418 Project.
That's
right. Correct. Yes.
I got that.
You got lots of clap there.
She is amazing and a big part of why 418 Project is so wonderful. And,
yes.
I got to take a little break here, folks. We're going to play a little Cesaria Evora. And you're listening to Artist on Art. I am your host, Nada Milkovich. I have the great pleasure of speaking with Michelle Milendez, Stephano Engle, and Angela Blessing. They're so wonderful, I want to pluralize them all. And we're talking about this year's very exciting event coming up, very exciting, called What is Erotic? It is Santa Cruz's hottest Valentine's date. You want to be there. There is some age restrictions, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you have to be over 18.
Okay, over 18, folks. Sorry.
Right.
And it begins February 7th, 8th, and 9th, and runs the next weekend as well, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. Pre-show erotic salon is at 7:30 p.m. The curtain raises at 8 p.m. That's on Friday and Saturday performances, and then Sunday performances are an hour earlier. The pre-show erotic salon at 6:30, curtain at 7. I think it's very nice that you all would think about those people that have to get up early on Monday and go back to work. If you have any interest in buying your tickets or getting more information about this, please go to whatiserotic.com and you can buy your tickets there. You can buy them at the door, but as we said before the break, the show sells out pretty much every year. All the proceeds benefit the 418 Project, which is in downtown Santa Cruz, and a huge supporter of the arts here in Santa Cruz. So before we get into all the wonderful performances that we're going to get to see this year that have been through quite the process in October, November, December, and January, because this is all new premieres of performances.
All original pieces.
They're all original pieces happening right now for the first time. But we want to get to the kernel, the heart of what is erotic and why is it necessary, you would say?
Oh. I think it's hugely healthy to have dialogue about this sort of thing.
What sort of thing?
About these things that we don't talk about, these taboo topics that we don't discuss in our society, really. And we get very skewed views. We have huge amounts of pornography available online. We have all kinds of ways the media treats these things. Maybe we hear that Sting is into tantra or something like that, and everyone freaks out, or someone swings around with their tight underwear.
Not here in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, maybe that's an old one, but or maybe someone swings around on a wrecking ball in their underwear and people freak out.
So, there's that, huh?
I mean, personally, I watch these things and think, is this really freaking people out, or is it just the media fanning the flames or something? But.
And so why do you think it's healthy for us to get together as a group and to kind of investigate what is erotica?
Well, I think part of it is that we discover that we each of us as individuals, those things that we're imagining in our own heads are not so uncommon. That everyone else is having some of those same fantasies. That they're thinking some of that same stuff.
So you're saying there's some tapping into the universal unconscious erotic human mind condition?
Yes. Yes. So
how do you distinguish between erotic and pornography?
I think really you look at it in terms of art, really, and what sort of underlying needs and underlying emotions you're tapping into. Mm-hmm. I think with the stuff at What is Erotic, we're really it's almost a whole body experience, a whole chakra experience to sound
Santa Cruzy.
Santa Cruzy, yes.
I'm going to get a Kundalini Express going into
here. We're doing it right now.
Woo! I hope y'all are feeling that out there, radio listeners. Tapping into your Kundalini Express.
What are those red lights on the board lighting up over there?
Yeah, you want to pull over if you're driving. So, I think that's a big question. What is the difference between something that's erotic and something that's pornographic?
Well, I'd like to
Angela Blessing
comment on that. I think that one of the things we like to help people access as performers, and of course, I think when you're witnessing a performer, you're going to experience it too, is a presence, vulnerability, and pleasure. So really to be, as a performer, to be fully embodied, to be feeling what you're saying or what the really transmitting an experience, transmitting sensation, transmitting vibration, energy, and experiencing yourself. And I think that's, that is part of the erotic experience when you're with a lover, and it's also potentially can be part of performance and sharing that with people, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's also really tender too, because people in some pieces it is an expression of tenderness and something vulnerable and being let in and a reveal, so that's pretty erotic as well.
Yeah, I would like to add something.
Michelle?
I think it's also about the intention of what you're doing. Like, for me, what is erotic is something that taps more into, like I said earlier, my feminine nature, my sensuality, my being a woman, and that the feelings that I have around sexuality and eroticism, that they're good, that they're okay, that they're not wrong, and for me to express it and feel it and have an audience in front of an audience is just it actually just takes me to a whole new level in the knowingness that sensuality and pleasure is good, and it's an okay thing, and it's part of being a human being. So I really think that intention between what is erotic and what is pornography, I think what the intention holds is really key.
It's just like art.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Tell us, we only mentioned 3 directors. Let's mention, who are all the directors of this year's show?
Right. So there's a Laura Bishop, and then myself and Angela Blessing, and then there's Aaron Stetzel, who is also one of the co-directors, a fantastically skilled director, and then Stan Grisdolf, who is or Grindstaff. I'm sorry, Stan, but and he's a performance coach.
And he comes up from L.A.
He does. Yes.
It's a great thing. Our resources here in Santa Cruz are just amazing.
It is amazing.
And so Stan is bringing some, L.A. professionalism to it.
His sort of invisible, subtle hand touches all the pieces, and he's back there teaching people. It's sort of a free education in acting. Really, I've learned a great deal from Stan. In fact, about how to cheat out and do various, all the actor tricks.
Yeah, and that's one of the wonderful things about this production is that there's so much support for the performers, and it's an incredible thing. I mean, you have to put a lot of time and work into it, but everyone gets so much back, not only the incredible community experience of being in a show together, which we know we've all been really digging, but I've learned a lot. Every year I've done something new that I've never done before, and it came out really great. And if I hadn't had the support, it would have been different. So that's a really wonderful thing about this show as well.
Right. It's my hat's off to you all, because it's such a vulnerable thing to be revealing an intimate fantasy that you might have and bringing it to a stage and an audience. But it seems like if you're going to do it anywhere, Santa Cruz would be, like the easiest audience to do with that.
It's a beautiful audience. One time I was standing backstage, and the piece just before me was this fantastic poet, and it was opening night, and the poet was having some trouble with some lines, and it was such a beautiful scene because the audience really was there. They said, "Hey, we're here for you.
Take your time."
And it almost, it's going to make me cry. I have to stop. Yeah, but they said, "Hey, we're here for you. Take your time." Yeah, exactly. And it was a beautiful scene to witness.
So this is the 8th year.
It is.
And how have you seen the evolution? How has it grown, do you think?
I think one of the things is we're nicer to our audience in certain ways. We make better transitions between scenes. We have a little more professionalism in what we're doing with people like Stan and Aaron, and who are directing us more professionally. Back in the days, I think it was a little more like almost a performing at home in front of your garage sort of thing. But now and our light person Rob Rusin is just fantastic also. So we have some fantastic professionals doing some theater stuff. For
Wonderful.
us. Yeah,
Wonderful.
And it's great.
Yeah, it's just got more refined and more professional over the years.
Yeah.
This is the year to go, folks. What is Erotic? February 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 14th, 15th, and 16th. Santa Cruz's hottest Valentine's date. You can't get better. If you need more information or want to buy your ticket right now, because it will sell out, it's whatiserotic.com, and there you'll have a link for brownpapertickets.com. You can buy your tickets at the door, but chancing it.
Yeah, taking a risk.
Okay, so we've got the 5 directors we've talked about.
Right.
Let's get into some of the different components of the actual event. We've talked about the salon, the pre-show salon.
Right.
And I just want to mention your names one more time. We've got Michelle Milendez, Stephano Engle, and Angela Blessing. So Stephano, tell us.
Yeah.
Or begin.
Well, you're gonna see some great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as Michelle intimated, you're gonna see a scene, an office scene.
Oh, my scene is so much fun. I'm doing the theme again of we all know that we all are overwhelmed, we're all stressed out, and how many times have you had dreams about friends, and and even some people that you wish you didn't have a dream about, which I remember I've had before. So it's a dream sequence of two really stressed out executives on a deadline. They're over budget, and the guy goes to sleep, and there's waves crashing, and the girl comes out and basically talking about tearing off clothes, literally ripping off clothes, pulling hair, and it's just throwing things off the desk. It's absolutely crazy. And then there's nice calm waves afterwards, and it's just a really fun piece to perform, and it's super hot.
It is super hot.
So where is this in the program?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, kind of in the middle.
Sort of in the middle.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's begin with the beginning. What's one of the first things I'm going to get to see?
Well, our theme this year is carnal knowledge. So you're going to see a snake descend from a tree and present an apple to Adam.
You start at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's a good place to go.
That's right.
And then what would be next? Oh, who's in that? I'm sorry. Who are some of the people?
Jordan Leahy, Cindy Toon primarily, and then there's several dancers, including Stephano here.
Yes.
And Michelle, who are comprise the Tree of Knowledge.
Yes.
It's pretty awesome.
That's great.
And then what's next?
The poem, Craig.
Yeah, we have a fantastic piece by a poet named Craig, and he's it's a discussion of seeing one of these kind of things, that this very erotic thing that happens out in broad daylight, essentially, and somehow doesn't get seen. Somehow it's invisible.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
And it's a poet.
It's a poem, yeah.
It's a beautiful poem.
Storyteller.
Storyteller, yeah. It's really good.
It's great.
Okay.
And then we have a story that comes straight from the 418, an experience that someone had actually at dance church.
I bet there's something that's happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what if someone's never heard of the dance church? What is that?
A dance church is actually something that happens. It's a Santa Cruz fixture. I think it's been there going for many years.
And it happens on Sunday mornings.
Sunday mornings.
And also there's some Thursday nights, or there's Friday nights.
Friday nights, yeah.
Yeah, stuff going on almost every day.
And so it's kind of like contact dance, would you say?
It's whatever you want. It's whatever
Completely open.
your spirit
Free
is, whatever
form.
you're worshiping. Yeah. It's a beautiful scene, too.
Okay. My imagination is working.
Yeah.
What's after that?
Our date. Stefano and I are on this really silly date. It's a really great hot date. And Angela's an angel, and Vita is a devil, and they're kind of whispering things into our ears. And
yeah, there's a through line through the show that me and my friend Vita created. It's an angel devil crush. So yeah, there's like 4 acts, and the first is a dinner scene.
Yeah.
And these guys are being influenced by by good and naughty and
it's
kinds of things.
Super fun and really funny.
It's
really
fun.
great.
Excellent. And then?
It comes
Well, don't
after
forget
that.
the clit.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we have the clit monologue. We had the penis monologues last year, and
Okay.
Right.
We have to be careful with what we say.
Okay.
okay. Well,
It's part of the feminine anatomy comes alive. How's
Yes.
that? And speaks to us.
Yeah, literally, she comes
You
alive.
know, I'm going to go ahead and, even though it's not one of the 7 deadly words, as a non-commercial educational radio station, KZSC supports free expression of ideas. Please be aware that opinions expressed are those of the speakers are honest only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the UC Regents, KZSC staff, management, or underwriters. We welcome your feedback on our programming. Please direct your comments to the Program Review Committee by calling 831-459-4726 or emailing prc@kzsc.org. So we're talking about a female anatomy.
Yes, and it comes alive.
and
speaks
it talks to you.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
And
It's-
educates, and yeah.
yeah, she's a mom, and her daughter was in the show last year. She's like, this year I want to bring this, and she's like, I was so inspired to see my daughter in the show last year.
Isn't she a sex educator too? I thought she was a sex
I
educator.
think you're right.
Well, she is now. There's nothing else.
Yeah, so you get a little education, you get definitely some laughs.
So we got some talking vaginas.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Oh,
then-
wait, you can say that?
I can say that,
All right.
yes.
All right.
And then when
Very
we got up
interesting.
after that,
Wait a minute. If you have a complaint, please email.
What's after our piece?
What else? We might not be getting the order
Yeah.
perfectly
That's
correct.
okay.
That's just fine.
Yeah. Well, then I think after that, there's the recruitment song that
Oh my
comes
gosh,
on.
that's so great.
It's a song about bisexuality.
recruiting
Yeah.
openness, I
It's
guess.
Daniel Dow he comes on stage with his guitar, and Yeah,
It's awesome. It's
It is
hilarious.
really
It's a
good.
great song.
There's a
It's
lot
really
of humor
well
in the
done.
show this year, actually.
Yeah.
Great. That could help any embarrassment, you know, if you
Right.
can giggle afterwards.
We've also got a piece by a local amazing dancer and hoop artist. She's it's like a multimedia piece that's pretty fantabulous.
Do you
Right.
know the name of that?
Bren.
Yeah. And we also have actually a ballerina from New York City.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
So she takes ballet to an erotic place?
She does.
Nice.
Yes. It's
Is
fantastic.
she wearing a tutu?
Not quite a tutu.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it
Nice.
to your imagination.
Yeah.
There's another major professional, Mitch. I can't remember his last name,
Yeah.
but he was a Vegas dancer, and he's doing an amazing, extraordinary piece. It's a dance piece that is just brilliant. I don't want, like when I first seen it, I was like encore, encore. You just don't want that one to stop.
Right.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. It's a duet actually with this woman Michelle, who they're both beautiful together.
And it's Michelle's first performance on stage as a dancer. Her first time as a dancer.
Wow, we
Wow.
never know it. You never know
Yeah.
it.
You would never know it. That's
Amazing,
true.
amazing.
And then there's a clinical
What a
scene.
gutsy lady.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
I mean, that could be like being on stage for the first time is a whole thing, but to like
Yeah.
be in this show seems like what
It's
is
the whole-
erotic is a whole nother level.
That's true. And then there's a clinical scene where someone's doing some clinical trials.
Yeah,
Naughty,
Lauren
naughty
Ushib actually.
minds.
Yeah.
Clinical trials. So
Clinical trials.
adding eroticism to the trial, to the courtroom.
It's like a free association assessment.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
All right.
And pretty hot too.
That's a really good one.
Anything
Well,
else?
Steve and I are doing
Oh, yes.
a piece about the eroticism of conception.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really hot.
Wow. So, is there puppets involved? Or?
Just us.
Yeah, it's a spoken word piece, and I'm the one. It's my poetry about my experience as, a woman, totally lusting after my man, and all the sensations and the poetry of that desire, and it's ever so primal and universal amongst, I think, women in particular. So.
Yeah, and it worked.
We'll talk about that after the show. All right. Really great news. You heard it here first. It's John Hart. I'm gonna cry. Okay, let's talk about something else real quick. What's up next? Is there any other ones? You said there was about 20 pieces.
Yeah,
right?
this woman Makana, who's also
yes.
in the Do Rights Burlesque troupe. She came out on her own this year. She's doing an incredible, very tribal, goddessy piece. I just love to watch. It makes me want to move every time I'm watching her.
It's fantastic.
That's a good one.
And then there's a kind of a tradition of a big finale. Is there one this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Just tease us. That's
Well,
so much-
it's going to start with the angel and the devil.
they're coming back.
Playing a pretty famous song that we all know and love together, and then all the performers will be joining in on stage.
Yeah, it's super fun. The ending to the show is really a blast.
All right. I can't wait to see it, folks. What is erotic? This is the 8th year of Santa Cruz's hottest Valentine's date. You want to be there. Either February 7th, 8th, and 9th, or the next weekend on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 15th, and 16th. This year, 2014, the 418 Project is doing their biggest benefit of the year. So if you want to just not only have a really fun, exciting theatrical experience, this is also a great way to support our 418 Project, which supports so many artists, dancers, and offers so much as far as classes, the dance church, and this wonderful, they have the gala event every year in December.
They have African dance. They have all kinds of things.
Inner rhythm.
I was going to say it's the most affordable studio rental in town, so that's one of the things. We're offering a place for people to run their classes and do performances and events. That's pretty darn affordable.
And I just want to mention, if you've been listening and you're thinking, gosh, I really want to do this. Like, that sounds wonderful. I want to, of course, be a part of the audience, but I want to participate in this. They can keep a lookout. The first week of October is usually when you have your call to artists.
Yes, right.
And it will be on whatiserotic.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
you also have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
We do.
And the Facebook page will more than likely also announce when the beginning of this 4 or 5 month process begins.
Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
Because you do want to be there at the first one, because that's when the teams are being
Yeah,
made.
so
and-
start looking in September.
yeah,
Just saying.
that's right, end of September. Like wanting it. Start getting the anticipation and
Yeah, start thinking about it now.
right, exactly. Not a bad thing to be thinking about, I say. Probably makes the world a little bit better.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Artist on Art. It's such a great show to be able to talk with Angela Blessing Stephano Engle and Michelle Milendez. And we've been talking about what is erotic. And it's one of those shows you want to go before they sell out. You want to buy your tickets. Santa Cruz's hottest Valentine's date. It's been a real pleasure. If you missed any part of this show, you will be able to see the video and hear the podcast at artistonart.com. I want to thank Vanya Benavides for live tweeting and Facebooking during the show. I also invite you all to stay tuned for the new radio show that follows Artist on Art called New Slang. Lots of fun music. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Nada.
Thanks,
I really
Hannah.
appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week.